Action SA not being the only party that is raising questions about the findings of the Reserve Bank in that report. The South African Council of Churches also joining the fray. Joining us tonight for that conversation is the group's Bishop Malusi Mpumlwana, who is the General Secretary of the organization. Bishop Mpumlwana, good evening to you. Thanks for your time tonight. So, you're seemingly wanting more answers from the Reserve Bank about its investigation. What are the questions that you still have?
Well, it would seem, thanks, Kathy, thanks for having us. It would seem that the investigation focused more to seek to determine the transaction to purchase wildlife from the president's farm and how that this was concluded or not. And that's not really what the South African public is looking for. People really want to know how this money got into the country, what it was intended for, and how it then landed where it was allegedly found. And it would have been expected that the Reserve Bank would deal with those issues. But it seems that the report doesn't do that, and that's why we're asking for the publication of the full report so that we can understand the premises of the investigation. We would also hope that when it comes to Parliament, as has been promised, it will be totally ventilated. We do understand that there may be constraints, as I think the media briefing said, but we believe that the Reserve Bank has a responsibility to uphold transparency, accountability to the public. That's part of the issue.
What are your concerns really about the precedent that may be set by this particular ruling of the Reserve Bank, especially if everything is left as is? So if there are no further questions that are put to the bank around how it got to its conclusion?
Well, Kathy, if you and I were to be in a similar position with billions of rand in foreign currency in our homes, most definitely it would be an issue. So what we want to know is, does this mean that anybody can have that kind of cash, foreign currency, and without reporting it and presenting it, and then be said to have not contradicted any regulations for currency exchange? Now, some have wondered whether our response to this report is in any way politically inspired. We say no, absolutely not. Our response just underscores our commitment to acceptable public values for the common good of our society. In this regard, we need transparency, accountability, and equal treatment under the law, because, as I said, if you or me were in the same position, we probably would have a different regime dealing with us. Therefore, we remain committed to advocating for transparency, accountability, and equal treatment of all citizens in all matters that impact our nation. And we believe that the public deserves to know more.
Bishop Mpumlwana, how far are you willing to go with this request?
Oh, no. We don't expect that we've been told that it will go to Parliament. And so our appeal would be that the parliamentary report be expedited. And I think that's more important. And I heard earlier, I think one of the, somebody was saying on television that it's likely to be in Parliament on the 30th of August. Really, that's a few days. And I don't think that, I think that I should be playing politics to be spending all the time in courts over something that's going to come before Parliament, particularly for political parties that will be receiving it in Parliament. And we are willing to wait and see that, but our appeal would have been for it to be published before Parliament. But we understand that they say they've got constraints. All right, let's wait for Parliament. But let it be clear that Parliament must ventilate every aspect of it. This is critically important to the South African citizenry. We don't want to have a situation where some banking laws and regulations apply differently from one person to the other. If it is more important to the citizens as well as to the president himself personally for his own peace of mind in the highest office in the land.
South African Council of Churches Bishop Malusi Mpumlwana, thanks for your time tonight.